What is going on, guys? Ed Bandicoot 101 here, and welcome to my overview of the best monitor you can get in terms of price to performance, as long as you're willing to spend a fair bit of money for a pro gamer. So, here in front of me I have the AOC AGON 27-inch 165Hz 1440p IPS display with 4 milliseconds response time. Now, all those specs probably mean nothing to you, but I'm going to go over what that actually means and how much it costs. So initially, I'm going to tell you the whopping price tag. This isn't a cheap monitor, this is a professional piece of kit. It costs around £550, depending on where you buy it, or about 650 to 700 US dollars, which is extortionate for a monitor when you can get, a 4K normal monitor a lot cheaper than that. You're thinking, but Ed, it's not even 4K. Why did you pay that sort of money for a monitor of this spec? So, let's delve into the tech specs for all you nerdy guys out there who really want to know why this monitor is genuinely, definitely worth that high price tag. So, first of all, it has IPS pixels, meaning if you calibrate it right, it's going to be incredibly color accurate compared with the TN panel, and most gaming panels are TN to keep a low response time. Now, the response time on this isn't particularly low, but for an IPS panel it's only 4 milliseconds, meaning it is about 4 times the response time. That's grey to grey as well. 4 times the response time of a really good TN gaming panel. So you might get slightly more motion blur than the TN gaming panel, but I think that is a worthwhile trade-off for that 100% RGB color accuracy, or there near on. The blacks with an IPS panel can be not quite as deep as with a TN because the backlight can bleed, and a lot of people have moaned that this monitor does have a lot of backlight bleed. Personally, I found the blacks very satisfying on this, and there is no real backlight bleed with my model in particular. Also, 165 Hz. So Hertz means the amount of times that the monitor is able to draw another frame in a second. So it can draw 165 frames per second effectively, meaning if your graphics card is outputting 165 frames a second, you can draw 165 frames a second. And another really interesting technology that this has is GSync. Now, if you don't know what that is, variable refresh rate technologies called like GSync and FreeSync mean that the monitor is able to sync with your graphics card to make sure that every frame that it outputs, the monitor then draws that frame once it's completed, which negates all screen tearing. And if you've never tried it, honestly, it is like playing on butter. There is such reduced input latency if you've got high frame rates. Like I've got my GTX 1080 here, capable of pushing anything at 1440p. Honestly, if you're doing like 100, 120 frames a second on anything on ultra settings with G-Sync enabled, and your frame is always completely synced, there's no tearing, there's very little input lag, it is absolutely beautiful. I can't explain what it's like to you guys, but you really need to try it for yourself. I'd highly recommend going and getting a tech demo done at somewhere like PC World and ask for a G-Sync demo, or wherever there is near you that can do it. Obviously that would be for England. I'm assuming Best Buy or someone like that in America will be able to show you. But I highly recommend trying out G-Sync for yourself, or even at a computer convention, because once you've tried it, there will be no going back to non-variable refresh rate displays. You're going to want to play with G-Sync or FreeSync enabled forever because of how damn smooth it feels. So yeah, 165 Hz with G-Sync is ridiculous. I've actually got it set to 144 because that's the native resolution it supports, and overclocking it can get a bit annoying, but it supports 165 Hz. So that is absolutely ridiculous in terms of the refresh rate, considering it's also 2560 by 1440 in terms of the pixel density. So not 4K, but that is a nice medium. For a 27-inch panel, that puts it at a similar pixel density in terms of the pixels per square inch of a nice 4K TV that's about 40 inches, or a bit bigger than that. So pixel density is great, it is sharp as anything, and also means it doesn't put so much strain on the graphics card, because personally as a professional, I like to think of myself as a professional gamer, I do like to have the frame rates are kind of more important to me than resolution. So having a slightly lower resolution means you can get more frames, and with G-Sync it's going to feel even smoother, and it is just, honestly, it is like playing on butter. I can't explain how smooth it is. It's absolutely ridiculous. Other than that, 4 millisecond response, as I've said, means there's not going to be a lot of motion blur for an IPS panel, and also for content creators, the IPS means you can have great color accuracy if you're doing things like video editing, Photoshop, rendering things. It's a great workstation grade monitor as well as a gaming monitor, so it's very versatile. I would love to put 3 in surround and have 3 on my desk, but number one, my desk and room isn't big enough, and number two, I'm not a multi-millionaire. Yeah, it is just fantastic. So 550 quid, I would highly recommend picking one up. The drivers on AOC's website, so AOC is obviously the manufacturer, their website is, I was expecting it to be a bit janky because they're not a particularly well-known company. Their website is absolutely flawless, I've got to hand it to them. The driver installation should have a bit of text document with it, but all you have to do is right click on the on one of the 3 files that's in the zip folder and hit install, and then you are GSync ready. Obviously, don't use the disk in the box; it's probably out of date already. Yeah, GSync works an absolute treat, and the resolution's a nice sweet spot between really high resolution and current resolution that you can really push with really high frames a second on. So it's a really nice sweet spot. And the only complaint I have is that the monitor isn't curved. It has other things, so it has a DisplayPort input for your GSync 1440p, 165Hz. It has HDMI input in case you want to put a console on it as a secondary input device or something. But if you're buying this just for a console or something, it is completely wasted on it. Get something cheaper, because it is for high-end PC gaming, so you can actually push the frame rate kind of thing. And yeah, it's also got 3 USB 3 outs, sorry, 1 HDMI input, HDMI 2.0, so it should be able to do 1440p at 144 Hz, but it won't be able to do G-Sync via HDMI, obviously, because NVIDIA haven't enabled that yet, or the firmware won't do it. I'm not sure why they haven't enabled it or why they can't do it, but they haven't yet, just as a heads up. So you have to use DisplayPort cable, but one is included in the box. You also get a nice little edge bit on the monitor as a headphone stand. Obviously, I've got my headphone stand on top of my PC anyway, so I've got the official Razer one, but it has got a headphone stand. It's also got a USB connection for connecting mic input as well as headphone output from the monitor if you choose to do that. And it also has obviously on-off buttons and an in-screen GUI down here, which is pretty standard AOC GUI. It's nothing strange, and tells you exactly what you're running. So remember, you are running at 2560 by 1440 with G-Sync enabled. Yeah, it's that easy. You plug it in and you get going. It's only C rated in energy efficiency, so it's quite a high power draw monitor, and has got a bit of a gamery aesthetic, which might put some people off. I didn't like the red particularly, so the rest of my setup is entirely green, but it'll do for now. I'm quite happy with it. So the only thing you can really see from the front is the Agon logo, which looks alright anyway, so I'm not really going to complain about that, but I would have preferred it in a neutral or green aesthetic, but that is just my preference. Obviously aesthetics are subjective. I would like it to be curved as well at the price point, because I do prefer having a curved monitor, because obviously with the monitor it's only one person watching it, and I think a curved screen when you're right in the sweet spot of sitting where you should be is slightly more immersive personally, and looks more professional, because you wouldn't look at that monitor and think it was the price it was unless you knew what the tech specs were. So I would have liked it if it was curved, but obviously it's not an issue at all. I would have to say it's the same spec as the high-end Asus Predator with IPS pixels, and it is £100 cheaper. People are complaining about backlight bleed, which is there. The blacks could be slightly deeper, but it's IPS. I wasn't expecting AMOLED quality in terms of the contrast, but the colour accuracy is there, and G-Sync and 2560 by 1440 with the GTX 1080 is a gaming setup which is so damn smooth. I'd actually fucking recommend that you draw out $1,500 from your account now, march down PC World and go 1080 and the monitor and build the system. Just do it. Honestly. Chuck anything like Black Ops 3 or Counter-Strike Go on there. It is so damn smooth, it will blow your fucking mind. That simple. One other complaint, one real complaint, is that the screws, get this is brilliant. So you've got cable management stuff on the stand at the back, and the stand's all angular and looks nice. But the screws to mount the monitor to the stand, obviously you can mount it to a VESA mount, but to mount the stand to the monitor aren't fucking included in the box. I gave it a 4-star Amazon review because of this. I actually purchased it from PC World, but I wrote a review on Amazon, so, you know, helping the community out. But the screws to attach the monitor to the base aren't included in the box. Luckily, as a hardcore PC enthusiast, I have a box of all different screw threads anyway. You know, a whole box of all of them labelled out. But if I didn't, that would have been a pain in the arse. And other people complained about that as well. So if you purchase it, be prepared to contact AOC support if you haven't got a box of screws standing by. Luckily I did, but not everyone will have. Other than that, yeah, AOC, put the fucking screws in the box. It'd make life a lot easier for everyone. But on the other hand, the monitor itself is absolutely ridiculous, and you seriously, if you spent the sort of money I have on a graphics card, or you've got anything like 980 above, and you play a lot of shooter games as stuff that's fast paced, get a fucking G-Sync monitor. It is unbelievable. Expensive, but unbelievable. So there we go, that is my review of the AOC AGON 27-inch IPS 165Hz. Don't know what the model number is. It's the only AGON with that spec anyway. So check it out. I'll have a link to the Amazon link in the description for both UK and US. And that is all I've had to say about it. I had to pay 535 quid because I got discounts because of my workplace being IBM. I got discounts from IBM Rewards, but most of you should be able to get it for around 548, I believe it is, on Amazon at the moment on sale. Temporarily out of stock though, so obviously it is a hot seller because of the spec for the price. yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're looking for a GSync monitor on the market and you want to have no compromises, this is the baby to pick up. I'll see you guys very soon with more awesome content, so stay tuned, stay subscribed, share. It helps me out a massive amount if you share my content, and really helps me to keep producing content for you guys. And I'll see you guys soon with more awesome gaming and tech videos. I'll catch you later.